Welcome to SVG-TV's news for Friday, May 26, 2023. I'm Triska Campbell with the details. News just in, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, the ECCB, in a statement issued this afternoon, said in exercise of the powers conferred under Section 138 of the Banking Act No. 4 of 2015 of the laws of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, it has appointed a receiver for First St. Vincent Bank Limited, FSVB, with effect May 26, 2023. First St. Vincent Bank has been providing banking services to the people of SVG since 1909. The ECCB said as at the 31st of March 2023, the First St. Vincent Bank reported $46.8 million in total assets, which accounted for 1.6% of the total banking assets. $953.4 million, or approximately $3 billion in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. In terms of what does the receivership for the First St. Vincent Bank mean for its customers, the ECCB said the bank is closed with effect from today, May 26, 2023. Depositors' accounts valued up to the sum of $100,000 will be transferred to BOSVG. For accounts valued over $100,000, the sum of $100,000 will be transferred to BOSVG, and the balance exceeding $100,000 will remain in receivership. Depositors with balances up to $100,000 will have full access to their funds from June 1st, 2023 at the BOSVG Card Distribution Center on the first floor of the Halifax Street branch. The ECCB said depositors who wish to obtain more information about their accounts may contact BOSVG at 452-4385. That's 452-4385 or 452-4395, or email address process@bosvg, that's process@bosvg.com, or receiver at 456-1873, 456-1873. In other news now, over 2,000 fifth form students and secondary level and first year students of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College will each receive an ASUS Chromebook computer to help their academic program. The 3,120 ASUS Chromebook computers were donated to the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines by the Republic of China on Taiwan. At the handing over ceremony today at Cabinet Room, 15 students of the SVG Community College and some fifth formers were the first to receive one of the Chromebook computers. Minister of Finance and Economic Planning Camila Gonsalves told the gathering that the distribution of the Chromebook computers forms part of the government's one laptop per child initiative, started many years ago with the first set of laptops from Portugal.
Subsequently, there were additional laptops, and then when COVID began and remote learning became necessary, the government provided tablets to every single community college student, every single secondary school student, and the overwhelming majority of the students in the primary school. We're the only government in the Caribbean and one of the few governments in the world that was able to produce to procure and provide electronic devices, learning devices to almost every single student in the country during the pandemic. And we're very proud of that fact. I was in another Caribbean country just a few days ago, and I was speaking to a minister, and he was talking about technological development among students. And he said, one of the terrible things is that given the constraints that we have, some of our students will go through their entire lives, their entire academic lives, and not get their hands on a device. A minister told me this, given because of poverty and other challenges and the like. And I said, I sympathize with you, but I can't empathize with you, because that's not a challenge we have in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Because with these devices, there are some students who will be receiving these devices, who will be receiving their third device.
Some cases the fourth.
From the government, because they would have gotten what they call the Ralph tops back when they were in primary school. They got certainly the Samsung devices.
ASA?
The ASA laptops. Sorry. Then they got the Samsung tablets.
Yes.
And now they're getting this. And so there are some students, this will be the fourth IT learning device that they've gotten over the course of their academic career. And that is an incredible, absolutely incredible accomplishment by the government, and it is just one part of the toolbox that we try to provide students to help them, as the Prime Minister says, soar like eagles with their wings unclipped.
Describing the Asus Chromebook computers as top-of-the-line devices, Minister Gansaf said it is the commitment of the government of SVG to always place in the hands of students modern technology devices, and that will enhance their learning experience and their own personal quest for knowledge.
Asus Chromebook Flip C214M, and they're set up here like laptops, but they're more than laptops. Hinge, so they're tablets. As you see them there, they're laptops. They can also be placed like this as a presentation device, and they're designed to be sturdy, rugged, durable. They're light. They're under 2.5 pounds. They have a hard shell case, which is spill-proof, stain-proof, drop-proof, and so very well set up for student activity. They run the Chrome software, and we had, before we decided to distribute them, since we received them, we had meetings led by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education and the people in the NTRC to work with the Chrome software to figure out which students would best be able to take advantage of these devices, and led by the Minister of Education and his PS, determinations were made about which students would be best positioned to get them. These devices have on-computer storage. They also come with 100 gigabytes of storage with Google, and very long battery life. The battery life, I ran mine for 12 hours, well, 11 and a half hours yesterday. It's not mine, I borrowed it. I ran it for 11 and a half hours yesterday, playing videos, accessing spreadsheets and word processing documents, and it ran 11 and a half hours before it finally went dark. And the apps that you have, if you have your Android phone, the apps that you get on your Google Play Store, those apps can run on this device as well. Out of the box, it comes with the ability to connect to the internet. It has 2 cameras, it has a keyboard, and it has the whole Google array of suite of software. So you have Google Docs, and you have Sheets, and you have all of the spreadsheet equivalent and all the rest of it. And very importantly, and the minister can speak to that, it integrates very well with the Google Classroom software suite.
Minister Gansaf said the government of SVG is very grateful to the government of the Republic of China and Taiwan with the generous donation.
They have provided us with this shipment 3,120 of these tablets. If you were going to go out and buy 3,120 of these, you would be paying almost $4 million for them, over $3 million for them. But because they're buying in bulk, and Asus, Taiwan, all sorts of friendships there, the value of the gift to us in terms of what they spent is just under $2 million, about $1.7, $1.8 million. That's a tremendous gift, and we're very, very grateful for the quantity.
If we had to buy them, it would be over $3 million?
If we bought them ourselves, it would be over $3 million. But because the Taiwanese government has a relationship with Asus, and because they're buying in particular ways, it's costing them about $1.7 million. 3,120 students will benefit from these devices. This is not our last announcement, but this is the one we'll give now, because there's another announcement coming with some additional devices that we will be providing to lower grades, tablets, but that's another discussion for another time. What is important to know now is that the government is absolutely committed to what we were calling one laptop per child a number of years ago. But now it seems like it's one device every few years. It's more than one laptop per child. But we're absolutely committed to placing devices in the hands of our students and having our students and teachers use them both in classroom and at home to enhance their learning experience.
Also addressing the handing over ceremony for the computers was Minister of Education Curtis King, who said the government is moving to further advance the education revolution by meeting the developmental needs of the country, and the distribution of the computers to the fifth formers at the secondary school level and the first-year students at the SVG Community College forms part of this process.
This government is committed to the enhancement of the teaching learning process. And we have been consistent in our efforts to put in place activities to demonstrate in a practical manner this conviction and this commitment. Therefore, among the activities you would hear us speak of all the time is that preoccupation with the professional development of our principals, teachers, and other educators. Because, as I'm saying, it is all part and process of enhancing the teaching learning process. But it goes beyond just developing the human resource capacity. We have also been engaged in providing a good working environment, physically also, to those who use our various institutions. So you know of the several efforts we are presently undertaking with regards to the enhancement of our school facilities. And some of these school facilities are in fact receiving substantial work to bring them up to the level where we want our people to be confident that the environment is conducive to what they're doing.
Minister King also told the ceremony that the integration of the information communication and on technology and in the teaching and learning process is of critical importance given the country's stage of development and what is happening in the world.
And as was mentioned earlier, we have embarked on a program over several years now where we are putting in place the necessary infrastructure, both at the level of training and also the provision of devices to have our students and our educators in a situation where we can gain maximum benefit from the utilization of this modern technology in the teaching learning process. And as such, if you look at the last budget, the one before, let's see where we identify the procurement of devices as being crucial to this whole process. So that this idea is not a fly-by-night idea. Because as happened with everything that we do, well thought of, planned, and executed. And in this context, I want to thank the NTRC, Mr. Knights and his team, and the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education and his team, and also the team from the Ministry of Finance, for their combined efforts in helping us to get to where we are today. Also, I want to thank once again Ambassador Lan and of course his team and the government and people of the Republic of China, Taiwan, for their continuing support for our efforts in education and generally our developmental efforts, whether they be in education, health, what have you. But of course, I'm being specific. I'm speaking to the issue of education.
Minister King said across the country 1,300 fifth form students at the secondary level and about 1,000 first-year students from the SVG Community College will be among the recipients of 3,120 donated ASUS Chromebook computers. He said some of the devices will also be used in administration. In regards to the annual contribution of the government of the Republic of China and Taiwan to the civic development projects here in SVG, Minister of Finance, Economic Planning and Information Technology Camilla Gonsalves said this year the funding amounts to $10.8 million, with the majority going towards education programs.
2.8 of it is for the YES program and 2.5 of it is for the SET program. With Taiwanese funding, think about it for a second, with the SET program, the YES program, and now the on-site program. Right now, as we speak, there are 1,000 young people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines in one or the other of those programs, getting valuable real-world experience, either in the government system or in the private sector, getting experience working, building their resumes, learning about professionalism, learning about office management, learning about specific TVET tasks. We have on-site people working in mechanic shops, we have them working in restaurants, we have them working in banks, we have them working in factories. And 1,000 Vincentian young people right now are receiving support through Taiwan, conceived by the government, to help to improve their own professional development and education.
And then the Women's Empowerment Program.
And then there's the Women's Empowerment Program, which helps entrepreneurs. So half of the money is for YES and SET, and if you think about what we're announcing today, $5.3 million for YES and SET, and $1.7 million worth of Chromebooks. You're up to $7 million today of Taiwanese largesse that is going directly to the young people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and we're very, very grateful to Taiwan for that generosity.
Minister Gonsalves said some of the money for the 2023 civic development projects will also be used to fund the expansion of the CCTV network, which is an important tool in the crime-fighting toolbox. Equipment for the printery and infrastructural improvements, mainly road repair work in the Central Leeward constituency.
Thank you again, Ambassador, and thank you to the government and people of Taiwan for your continued support of the developmental aspirations of the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Thank you, as always, for partnering with the government to discuss what our priorities are and how you can meet us in those priorities. We told Taiwan that our priority is education, and they have supported us in education. We told Taiwan that a priority is TVET, and having people develop their skills, and Taiwan has come to help us with that. We told Taiwan that crime fighting is a priority. We told them that entrepreneurial support is a priority. And each one of those things, Taiwan has stepped up to the plate, and we have come to agreements where their own generosity and our own aspirations align, and they have been an invaluable partner in the development of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
At today's handing over ceremony at Cabinet Room, Prime Minister Dr. Gonsalves announced that Air Canada will increase the number of weekly flights to St. Vincent and the Grenadines from November 1st, 2023. The Prime Minister said he, along with Minister of Finance Camilla Gonsalves and the Chief Executive Officer of the SVG Tourism Authority, Glenn Beach, held a meeting in Jamaica with top officials for Air Canada, who were also there to attend the opening of another sandals establishment.
They put me to sit down between the man and the woman at dinner from Air Canada. Glenn had done work before on them. That's why I wanted to take Glenn. And then the next morning, I had breakfast with them too. And every time I passed them while I was at the hotel and I greeted them like this. Raise four fingers. I said, good morning. Good afternoon. No, I want 4 flights. Well, that was confirmed yesterday. Of course, it's good news. Very, very good news.
The Prime Minister also announced that some of the 50 prefab houses purchased from Guyana have arrived in states.
6 2-bedroom houses already landed here. They're currently being offloaded at Camden Park. They came 1 week ago. Yesterday, 3 containers came also. The paperwork is currently being processed. They have 6 2-bedroom houses also. So 12 of the 2-bedroom houses are already on the ground. And then next week, well, yesterday, they shipped also another set of containers with 9 bedrooms. They would arrive in 2 weeks' time. So by 2 weeks' time, we will have in all 21 out of the 50 houses. The first set of 6 2-bedrooms, they're going down by Carlos constituency in North Windward. Not Leeward, sorry. We decided that of the 50, we put in 20 in North Windward, 15 in North Leeward, and 15 in North Central. Both the red zones and the orange zone. So that's the story, because I'm not going to get an opportunity before the weekend to talk about that. And I just want to encourage everybody to turn out for Fisherman's Day. This is a long weekend. Fisherman's Day is on Monday. I want also to say that
a special envoy from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia paid a visit to this country today. The delegation, which included the chairman of the Saudi Arabia Fund for Development and the Minister of Tourism of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, arrived just after midday at the Argyle International Airport and were greeted on arrival by a number of SVG government officials. The visiting delegation then engaged in discussions with Prime Minister Dr. Alf Gonsalves and other officials. A signing ceremony was also held for 2 loan agreements totaling $16 million, which will assist with the construction of a primary healthcare center in South Rivers and a cultural center of the arts in Bellevue in the Prime Minister's constituency in North Central Windward. Activities for Road Safety Week 2023, hosted by the Traffic Department of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, came to a climax today with a march and rally in capital Kingston. Head of the Traffic Department, ASP Parnell Brown, said the week of activities was a success and that they will continue to sensitize the Vincentian public on road safety.
The work continues. We will continue to go into schools and our continuous sensitization process. We have had requests from businesses who are requesting that persons from the traffic department come to their business so as to educate their drivers as to how they can make themselves more useful on the road. So the work still continues, and we will still have our regular radar programs and, of course, programs with the API to sensitize our nation as to how they can make themselves safer on the roads.
The Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment will observe Nutrition Awareness Week from Sunday, May 28th, 2023. The activities this year will focus on reading food labels with the theme, Read Your Labels, Put Healthy Food on Your Table. According to Chief Nutritionist in the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment, Nicole France, said the objectives are to educate the general public on making better, smarter decisions when purchasing food items and to avoid non-communicable diseases to live a longer, healthier life. France and community dietitian Alicia Ferdinand gave an overview of the Nutrition Awareness Week and why it is important to read food labels on the API's morning SVG program today.
The food label tells you what's inside of the tin, the package, whatever it is you're buying, the boxes, whatever. It tells you what's on the inside. So the key is to look for certain nutrients. But before we get to the nutrients, you have to look to see serving, how many servings are in the package. You know, we tend to sit and eat an entire package of something when it was meant to be shared with you and 9 other persons. So you're actually consuming 10 servings if you eat it alone. We look at the calories that are in this package. We look at calories from fat. Then we have the nutrients. Now there are some critical nutrients which we need to pay attention to. Critical nutrients which we need to cut back on, not eliminate but cut back on. Salt, sugar, fats. Then we have the better nutrients, I should say, which are our vitamins, minerals, fiber, which we don't tend to pay attention to. We need more foods with fiber. Fiber helps to prevent a lot of or control a lot of diseases that we're walking around with. So we need to pay attention to that. And then there's an ingredient list. Now this ingredient list is very important. It may contain something that you're allergic to. So by right you should not be buying this food. It may be produced in the vicinity of where nuts were processed. You may have a nut allergy, so you should not consume this package. And then it tells you again by weight the most, how do I put it, the most, whatever the top ingredients are. So you pick up a bag of, let me just say, marshmallows. The top 3 ingredients will be sugar, but in different names. But therefore, it's still sugar. Right? So we educate ourselves.
In relation to reading food labels and the standard salt content, community dietitian Ferdinand said it should be 140 mg per serving and advised persons to compare different brand items and their sodium content to choose products containing the least amount of sodium.
When you look at the word sodium, the standard, it is supposed to be 140 mg per serving. But let me tell you, and I could tell you reality, within St. Vincent and the Grenadines, that is not so. When you go into the supermarket and you purchase your food items, and if you do look at the sodium content, you hardly find, especially our canned foods, you hardly find anything that can hit that mark of 140. So what we try to educate persons to do, if you're going to purchase, let's say, mixed vegetables, and you have 2 different brands, compare the brands, compare the sodium within that brand, within both brands, and you choose the one with the least amount of sodium. So even though you may not hit the 140, what is standard, you can at least choose something that is less than whatever the higher number may be. Because trust me, you would be surprised to see some of the numbers that we're seeing. And as Vincentians, we do not study the serving size, as Ms. Fran stated. We will eat more than what is recommended within the product. So the advice is just to choose the least amount of sodium when you're picking up your food items.
France said Nutrition Awareness Week 2023 will seek to get Vincentians to understand how to read food labels and to become better consumers.
This is the only body you have. Take good care of it. So know what you're putting into your body. All right, so one of our staff members actually came up with a tagline, read your food labels might actually save your life. And it is quite true. You're diabetic, we can prolong your life by you making healthier choices when you select foods. Hypertension, same thing. It doesn't matter which condition you have. Even if you're healthy, we can probably extend the length of time before you actually get a non-communicable disease. So, can save a life. You have allergies, you may just pick up something that catches your eye. A child may just pick up something that catches their eye without reading the label. So, just might save a life if we learn how to read our food labels. So that's our main aim. We want to educate the public to become better consumers when they are buying food. Nothing is wrong picking up a tin of vegetable, whatever it is. It's fine. But like Ms. Ferdinand says, make the best choice. Choose a food with the least amount of whatever the critical nutrient is.
Nutrition Awareness Week of activities will commence on Sunday, 28th, with a church service. On Tuesday, 30th, May 30th, there will be a secondary school food label symposium with third form students of various schools across SVG. A supermarket sweep on Wednesday, May 31st, the annual health fair exhibition on Thursday, June 1st at the Old Treasury Department building site from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. The activities will climax on Friday, June 2nd, 2023, with a supermarket visit by personnel from the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment to educate shoppers on what to look for on food labels. In other news now, rural carnival events will move into full effect this weekend with a number of activities in the St. George's, Central Leeward and Mariaqua. The St. George's Rural Carnival schedule activities will include a Queen of Queen pageant, which will take place tonight, followed by Juve and a street party on Saturday and Kiddies Carnival on Sunday, May 28th. In a telephone interview on API's Morning SVG program, coordinator of the Rural Carnival, Dylan Morris, highlighted the other activities scheduled to take place this weekend.
South Leeward would also be launching today with a fish fest, and this should be an all-day affair going into the night. Yes, Clear Valley.
Yeah, Clear
Big
Valley.
Fish fest. Normally a very big and exciting event.
Fantastic. That's taking place all day today into the night. And then who's next?
And tomorrow, Saturday 27th, there'll be a wet fete in Georgetown in collaboration with Vinci Hotspot and the Windward Carnival Committee at the Spotlight Stadium.
What time does that get started?
Saturday the 27th. Started at 10 p.m.
Okay.
and going through until 6 in the a.m.
Until 6 o'clock. Wow.
Yeah. It must be full of energy. Vinci Mas is the hottest carnival in the Caribbean, so turning up the heat.
All right. So, and then there are activities planned for Sunday as well?
In Sunday, North Leeward, Tropical Paradise, all-inclusive. And then also on Sunday, the Pitini Forced Water event for this year.
I'm
Normally
sure it's not first. I'm sure it's not first.
As well, so.
I think you're a little too formal with it there, but yeah, the first water that's taking place on Sunday at
Sunday,
is it Lacqua at the Lacqua Boxing Plant?
Yes.
That's the Pitani Carnival Committee.
This year marks the 46th anniversary of Fisherman's Day celebration here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries says the significant milestone should be saluted as the fishing industry continues to make indelible contributions to food security, livelihoods, and households' income in this country. The theme for this year's celebration is Our Livelihood, Our Industry, let us protect it through the blue economy, and the slogan is Make Our Future Bright, Fish Right. This year's Fisherman's Day celebrations will take place on Monday, May 29th, and would include remarks from the chairman of the Fisherman's Day Committee, as well as the Minister of Agriculture, Forestry, Fisheries, and Rural Transformation on Industry and Labor, Subota Caesar, and Minister of Finance, Camila Gonsalves. The featured address would be delivered by Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves. This year's activity will be held at the Calico Playing Field on Monday, May 29th, with Monday commencing at 4:30 p.m.